Hello, and thank you for joining me again. Today, last time we talked about, I talked about not trying or not being not allowing your family, the pressures from the family, to to destroy you, to to keep you depressed. Today, I want to quickly talk about another factor, another sociological factor that could impact on your mental and psychological well being as an ex seminarian or an ex religious. And that is your friends, your parishioners, your community, your relatives, you know. Um, Yes, so just like the family, you know, your community and your parishioners and your friends are also your cheerleaders when you were in the seminary, when you were in the formation houses, and they were counting on you, and they were looking up to you, and they were also supporting you, both in cash, both in morale, both in kind, both in, whichever way. You will agree with me that when you were in the seminary or when you were in the formation house, anytime you're on your holiday and you see people, um, whenever you're walking around, maybe going about your business in the community, in your parish, people call you brother, people call you sister, people call you little priest, a kind of fadanta, or sister, They call you different names, and they mean it. They already started calling you a priest, and for them it is so difficult to make to know the difference or to make the distinction between a priest and a seminarian. It is difficult for them to know that as a seminarian, you don't have to be a priest. You must not be a priest. You might not end up being a priest, or as you have taken your first profession, you might not end up taking your final profession. So they look at you as, you have already arrived, you're already there, and pretty much you are communicating with God or whatever anyway. And some might approach you to pray for them, and some might give you things, when you are going back to school, when you're going back to your formation houses. They might give you things and money. They might even, when you were on holiday, they might invite you out, to hang out with them in their houses. When you were on apostolic work, how you were treated. Some pay you visits, and when you will be going, some will send you off in their own special way. Brother Lankoma, Sister Lankoma. And all these things, they will be doing all these things to you. And, you feel so important. You feel so cherished. You feel so loved. You feel so, you feel worthy. You feel something. So you were expelled. You were withdrawn. And then you get this opposite reaction from the people, from the relatives, from your friends, from your parishioners. They will be looking at you like some useless fellow. They will be looking at you like a prodigal son, a prodigal daughter, like a prostitute, like a, maybe, maybe you have done something wrong. Of course, you were expelled because of something. Maybe you impregnated one lady somewhere, or maybe you had some randy encounter some other place and you were reported, and then it's always, mostly it boils down for seminarians, it boils down to one girl, you have something to do with girls, or maybe you stole from the parish priest or something. And people normally don't really, people would like to nose around, gossip around, try to find out the reason why you were expelled, the reason why you withdraw. There must be a reason. And if they don't find one, they will generate one for you. And it will not be out of place when you begin to hear so many things about you that were not true. And you begin to hear some exaggerated versions of what really happened, if at all. And for an ex-seminarian, for an ex-religious, such things are so depressing. They are quite the impact on your person, on your mental health is so much. And most of the time we downplay the significant impacts we get from all this, from the way people treat us after you were expelled, after you withdrew from the seminary, from the religion house, or from the religious life. But some of these reactions from people, they affect us under the subconscious level. Unbeknown to us, these things, they affect the way we interact with people. They affect the way we think. They affect the way we carry ourselves. They affect the way we see the world. So, if you are conversant, if you are cognizant, if you are mindful of these developments and know that these are natural reactions from people, you are not going to stop it. You cannot stop people from reacting some ways. You cannot stop people from nosing around to find the reason why you were expelled. You cannot stop people from digging behind you. Even when you have told them the reason, even when you have told them that you were expelled out of malice, out of victimization, out of whatever, that was not true. But you should not be surprised when people don't believe you, when people don't believe your story, when people don't support you. When you were in the seminary, when you were still, going, for apostolic works and, different parishes, and sometimes you visit people, the people treated you very well, and you normally go back to visit them and, hang out with them just to pay a visit, and whenever you come around, they will always treat you as a special guest. But now, you are expelled. You are no longer a seminarian. You are no longer a religious. So, you should not expect people to treat you like the way they were treating you when you were a seminarian, when you were a religious, when you were a nun. because that would be too much to ask for, and that would be unrealistic of you. So you should develop a thick skin, very thick skin, in order to withhold and withstand whatever gossip, whatever telltales from the grapevines, whatever things, so many things people will say. Even don't be surprised when people go out just to hurt you, just to cajole you, just to make fun of you. You might come out, you might attend maybe your kinsman's, meeting, and someone will just tell you, after all, that's the reason why you were expelled from the seminary, or that's the reason why you were not, ordained a priest. You might do certain things every other young man out there will do, but yours, you might do it, and people will say, yeah, that's the reason why you were expelled. Every other, normal lady will do, and then when you don't do it, and then people will say, that's the reason why you were expelled from your convent. Don't be surprised. But I'm telling you that you don't have to dance to their tune. You don't have to let them get at you. You don't have to let what people say, or what people will say, or what people might say, stop you on your track from rebuilding your life. Stop you on your track from moving ahead with your life. Do not allow what people will say, people's sentiment and reaction. Don't allow them to stop you from picking up the pieces of your life and moving on. Let your watchword be, this is not the end of life. This is not the end. Once you have told yourself consciously, this is not the end, and subconsciously, this is not the end, you are going to survive. Mind you, do not forget that what makes us who we are is our subconscious mind, not our conscious mind. It is our subconscious mind. The subconscious is a very, very huge force to deal with. The subconscious mind is what really propels you, what influences your decision, what influences your choices, what influences your success, and what impacts on what influences your failures. If you develop a thick skin and have it in your subconscious mind that nothing is going to stop you from living your life, you have already succeeded. If you are able to keep telling yourself, repeating it over and again in your head, that nothing is going to stop me from succeeding, nothing is going to stop me from moving ahead, nothing is going to stop me from achieving what I set out to achieve. Nothing is going to stop you. You have always heard people say, where there is a will, there is a way. That is true. If you have the will to survive, you will not die. If you have the will to be successful, you will be successful. There is a difference between the will and just want. Want. Everybody wants to survive. Everybody wants to succeed. But not everybody has the will to succeed. The will to succeed is when your desire has permeated into your subconscious. The desire to succeed has permeated, has sunken into, has gone into your subconscious mind, then your success will be on autopilot. Because the subconscious makes your decision. The subconscious makes your choices. And they will always go for, your subconscious will always go for what you have processed and accepted into your subconscious. It will make your decisions for you. It will propel you to develop thick skin, not to mind what people say. It will make you to make choices that will help you push you forward in life. Do not mind what people say or how people say it. Maybe when you were a seminarian, a religious, a nun, a sister, people, oh, sister, oh, brother, oh, semi. People have this added emotional reaction to you when they talk to you, when they greet you. And then all of a sudden, people look at you like, what? And then you take it personally. And then you begin to allow it to affect you. Oh, this person didn't talk to you. After all, you are my junior. After all, you are my this. Do not waste your time picking stones when you should be focusing on the gold and other precious metal. You should be devoting your time on things that will push you forward, on things that will make you more successful, on things that will enhance your personal well-being. So, what I want to let you understand is this. Your environment impacts on you. It affects the way how you're going to move forward with your life after you were expelled, after you withdrew from the seminary. And this is my suggestion to you. If you can afford to move out from your environment, that environment that you were known as a seminarian, that environment where you were known as a sister, that environment where you were known as a brother, if you can afford it, leave that environment. Go to a different environment where nobody knows who you are. It will help your mental well-being. It will help you, because there is nothing more helpful than coming out, going about your business without having the feeling that someone is watching you, or having the feeling that someone is talking about you. There is nothing as liberating as operating in an environment where there is no negative influences, negative feelings, negative reactions towards you, negative energy around you. So if you can afford it, once you are withdrawn from the seminary, once you withdraw from the seminary, once you're expelled from the seminary or from the religious houses or from convent or wherever, if you can afford it, vacate that environment, the environment where you were known. Leave. Go to a different environment. Go to maybe a different city, maybe a different village, maybe a different town, maybe a different country, if you can, where no one knows who you are. I tell you what, it is very, very empowering when I withdrew from the seminary, and I knew how poisonous it will be for me to operate in my environment where I was known as a seminarian. So I made an arrangement to leave the country. Then when I came to UK, it was so liberating for me. Especially when I came to this country, I realized my inadequacies in terms of the skills to operate in the secular world. I realized that I was really, really lopsided in my general, in my whole, development. I was so lopsided in certain aspects of my life. When I looked for a job, it was quite difficult to secure a job. And at last, I was able to get a job as a road sweeper, street sweeper. In the morning, I will carry my wheelbarrow and the brush, the sweeping brush, and then I will be sweeping the main road, the streets, and people will be going about their businesses. People will be walking your left, your right, and people will be driving, and I will just be sweeping the road. I will be sweeping the road with my, long brush. I will be sweeping the road and packing the rubbish. Deep in my head, I was telling myself, oh my goodness, I can't believe that I have ended up becoming a road sweeper. But because of the fact that the chances of people who knew me is very slim to see me around sweeping the road here, it was so liberating. It was so, I was so free to do it. And people see me, and I greet people without having that thought in my head that, oh my God, this person is going to tell this other person about what I'm doing as a job. So I will sweep I will do my job, and then at the end, I will carry my wheelbarrow, pack it, go home. And so I had my life. I had no negative energy around me. Nobody to be scared of. Nobody to be, mindful of what they say. Nobody knew who I was. So I was about doing my business, no matter how menial the job was, the job of sweeping the road. But I was doing it. And I was so dignified that I was doing the job that would pay me, and I will pay my house rent, and I will pay my school fees, and I will, take care of myself. I no longer depend on people. I no longer depend on my parents. I no longer depend on my family, my brothers and sisters. Nobody. So I was able to depend on myself, so I could pay my bill. And just like any other young man, I was able to, go about my business without anyone, telling me, oh, brother, without even, before you want to, oh, brother, and then you'll just be like, okay, hey, hello. And then that will just, the fact that you're being called brother, it just limits you, what you can do. The fact that you're being called sister, you are limited in what you can do. But when you are in a situation, in an environment where nobody knew who you are, nobody knew your past life, so nobody cares who you are. Nobody cares. You can do whatever you want to do, like any other young man, any other young lady. It was really, really liberating and empowering for me to change my environment. And I was able to regulate. If I want to call my family or my friends, I will, I will manage that. I will, the time management. If I want to call, I will make out time for that, and I will get ready for that, and I'll prepare myself for that. Unlike when you are in a known environment where people knew who you used to be, you cannot regulate who you meet, who you talk to. People who have known you, they will talk to you, whether you like it or not, whether you're disposed or not, whether you are up for it or not, they will talk to you. But when you are far away from people, far away from people who have known you, you are the master of yourself. You have your time, and you control, you manage your time, and who you want to talk to, and who you don't want to talk to. So I am advising you, I'm suggesting that if you can vacate the environment, that environment that you've been operating as a seminarian, that environment that you operated as a religious, vacate, go away, go to some other place and start a new life. It will help you. It will help your recovery. It will help your bouncing back. It will energize you and empower you to start all afresh. So that's what I want to share with you today. These sociological factors from your communities, from your your friends, this impact, this energy, negative energy from the people who have known you. You can avoid it if you are able to vacate that environment to an unknown place where no one knows you. You can focus on yourself, devote your time to moving forward. So that's what I want to share with you. And hopefully, you might bounce back, and it will help you to recover, all the lost years, to meet up as a young man, as a young lady, So, yeah, this is what I want to share with you today. So, I know it is sometimes sometimes it is not easy. Or most times you might want to relocate. You might want to move away, but you don't have the wherewithal. You don't have the money, the financial support. I know that. It is real. Not everybody has that advantage. Not everybody has that, not everybody has that opportunity. But if you have it, you can explore it. It will help you. It will quicken your step. It will empower you. And it will help you to know what you can do, and who you are, and what you can do. Well, don't be scared of taking risks. Life itself is a risk. So don't be scared of taking risks. Be confident in yourself and what you can do. And the mighty force will come upon you, and you will be able to achieve your dream. And when you have done that, people will say you are lucky. But you yourself know that it took hard work to make it in life. Thank you so much. Tell me what you think about it. You can chat me up. You can react to what I have said. Let's keep on sharpening each other, encouraging each other, and hopefully we'll get there in a recorded time. Thank you so much and have a blessed day. Bye-bye.